Hello, welcome to Total Living. Good to have you with us today. Multi-award-winning and platinum-selling artist Jaci Velasquez took home her second Billboard Latin Music Award last year for Latin Christian Gospel Album of the Year for her fourth Spanish-language album, Milagro. Recently, Sunmi Choi had the opportunity to talk to Jaci at Fish Fest in Chicago about her next project, her personal life, and her foray into acting.
Well, Jaci, thank you for joining us here at the Fish Fest.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here.
So we have a lot of noise in the background, but that's okay.
That's cool.
More excitement.
Kids are having fun.
Big fan.
Oh,
okay,
gosh,
big fan. Love your music, love your sound. But I'm excited about your new album because you're very vulnerable in it. It was born out of a lot of your own experience, a lot of your own brokenness that you experienced. So share some of that, because I think it's really interesting when you can hear the artist's story.
Unspoken, which is, I guess now it's already almost 2 years old. I think for me, it was my first singer-songwriter endeavor. And it was a bit of it was very heartfelt for me. I mean, I think that every artist, when they go and they start writing their songs, they really come to a new place and really kind of, they lay it all out. And for me, that was a real hard place to come to because, well, either I was too busy to deal with maybe the hurts that, came in my life or that were in my life, or maybe I just didn't have the time to write the songs, whatever. Unspoken was a great experience. A lot about kind of the insecurities and the vulnerabilities that I face as a woman, and that kind of middle ground of being still young and crazy, but yet you're a woman. You're supposed to be responsible and kind of trying to figure it all out. And I'm right in the studio right now. Well, actually, I'm done in the studio. But my newest record, called Kenseltown, will be coming out. So for me, it's been a real, I'm just still singer-songwriter doing that. I'm really getting involved in that. And for me, this new record is probably my most, it's my favorite, of course. I think any artist, when they put out a new record, it's their favorite record ever. But lyrically, it's probably more positive than even my last record. And I mean, there's some melancholy bits to it, but it's a very kind of comfortable with myself kind of a record, and aware of the beauties, the beautiful mistakes that we all make as human beings.
You mentioned insecurities. I think a lot of people watching would look at you, your career. I mean, you started at the age of 14 professionally singing and performing, and they're probably wondering, what kind of insecurities could Jaci have?
I mean, the typical ones. I think I have the insecurities of, am I pretty enough? Am I skinny enough? Am I put together well enough? Do I look cool enough? But I think that a lot of the insecurities I have, also stem from the fact that I started doing music at such a young age. And that's really hard for kids, because you're suddenly put in front of all these people and you're supposed to have it all figured out. Because in the Christian music world, you're supposed to have it all figured out because you're a Christian and you're on a pedestal. And, I was 15 years old. I don't know. Go ask God. Go ask your parents. I don't know. It's a lot of that. And to a point, I still feel that way. I don't really know. I don't really know anything. I don't have any of the answers. I just can point you in the direction of somebody who does, kind of a thing. So, insecurities will always be there. I think that as long as we're alive in this world, There will be insecurities. But there's a point where you can start coping with them in a very healthy way. When you're aware of your insecurities, it's only then that you can change and God can actually mold you into what He wants you to be.
Was one of the most painful things your family situation?
Oh yeah, I think when my parents got divorced, that was something that I didn't really want to face, and kind of really kind of hated God and hated my parents for it for a little bit.
How did you get over that?
Time heals all wounds.
And it's not just a cliche.
It's not a cliche. Time heals all wounds. And for me, I really, it was a good thing almost that my parents split up, because when my parents split up, it made me start developing my own walk with Jesus Christ. It wasn't through mom and dad anymore. It was suddenly like, oh, what do I believe? Why do I believe it? Do I believe it just because mom and dad told me to?
You no longer had a vicarious relationship?
No, I wasn't living vicariously through my parents anymore, my relationship with God. It was becoming, wow, mom and dad aren't together anymore. They're worried about other things. Well, I can't be left in the dark here. I got to figure something out. So it became my relationship with God.
What was a turning point in your faith and in your relationship with Christ stemming from that? Was there a conviction about the genuineness of your relationship with Christ?
Well, yes, I think there's always a conviction about the genuineness of your relationship with the Lord. But I think it was sink or swim for me. When my parents split up and developing my relationship with God, I could have just said, forget it, this all stinks, I'm out the door. And then it was a sink or swim situation, and I just decided to swim.
Jaci Velasquez stepped on a stage before she was 10. Then she signed her first record contract at age 14. I think it's clear that this young lady is not your average singer. Stick around to find out why she says she's not afraid to work outside the box. Don't go away.
I had to make a decision. Am I going to do what makes people happy or what God has put in my life?